I've waited so many years for answers, they've kept me yearning. Memories becoming clear before the night turns to fear. So tell me how I'm doing, and tell me what I am. Those baseless, endless questions are calling for me back. I've watched you become yourself, your enemies kept within reach. Don't be fooled by the camera's eyes when all you say is with your mouth full of lies. So tell me how I'm doing, and tell me what I am. Those baseless, endless questions are calling for me back. Rose-colored glasses painted by him. Everything lasts when nothing begins. Destiny's comforts change so fast. Miracles happen, but they never come back. 'Cause what am I doing, and why does it matter when everything's made out of blood-tainted water? I tried to run, but I never could hide behind your walls and dirty parasites. So tell me how I'm doing it. Tell me what I am. Oh, those baseless, endless questions are calling for me back. Ooh, 'cause whatever happened to being alive for you? Just you. I've waited so many years for answers, they've kept me yearning. Memories becoming clear before the night turns to fear. So tell me how I'm doing, and tell me what I am. Those baseless, endless questions are calling for me back. I've watched you become yourself, your enemies kept within reach. Don't be fooled by the camera's eyes when all you say is with your mouth full of lies. So tell me how I'm doing, and tell me what I am. Those baseless, endless questions are calling for me back. Ooh. I think. Okay. Can
Wanda,
someone...
did you go live?
There we go.
Yeah. I had to
Okay.
go live to.
I don't see
Oh,
you
wait.
live, Wonder.
I'm not
You
live.
don't-
What?
You don't have to be live.
Yeah, you don't have to be live.
Because I can still just pull you into everything on this end without you being live.
Okay.
But I know that Everest said that your stream is showing the not like this emote.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, let me try again.
No, never mind.
Okay.
I saw it too
Bye.
late, Alex. I saw it too late, Alex. I saw it too late. I tried.
We're getting there.
I tried.
Well, it might be the channel. Is Wonder live on Wonder Truly or on Dearborn?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, I think I see Wonder live for me now.
Really? I didn't get the...
I just refreshed.
I'm just not going and looking.
I just refreshed.
I'm just staying here because everything's working well, and I like that.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Oh, look at me showing off my 2 working thumbs. I'm sorry. Too soon?
Oh, thank you. I don't
I
know
think I did
why
it.
I'm getting... Oh, goodness. I'm getting all sorts of stuff. We are not, in fact, fundraising in here right now. That is from months ago. I got to figure out how to correct that. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Isn't it great?
Okay,
I
I'm
have to
glad.
update
Well, this is actually really
everything.
nice because a friend of mine wants to do a collab stream through Stream Together, and so I'm glad we did this because I straight up was like to her, like, I get very stressed with technology, so I think it's good that we did this test session so that I can go into that feeling okay. I'm not
Trina.
doing tier lists anymore, and that timer is still going off.
I would never have guessed that you get stressed, Trina.
I love the phrase "I am get stressed." I need that on an embroidery too.
I
guess I just need
am
list
get
embroidery.
stressed.
I'm gonna make that the new May command. For context, there's been an ongoing joke on my channel because when it was May, I sang it's gonna be May, obviously. And Aqua made like a command that would just periodically scream May to try to time it every time I did May. And it didn't time it, but now we keep the command and Aqua is usually changing it to random things at random times. Sometimes I make it something and then I say something unhinged in chat, and now that command is whatever unhinged thing I just said.
Aqua's the goat.
What did I say, Wonder? Sorry. Did I say I am get stressed?
You said I am get stressed.
I am get stressed. Colonel says, Trina, I gotta ask, how much time have you spent on Tumblr?
You don't want to know. Like, the thing is, if you want to keep thinking of me as some kind of rational human being, which I don't think you should think of me as that, but the thing is, like, so the thing is, Tumblr was like, I got Tumblr kind of late, right? I was like in grade 12 when I got Tumblr. But I was also kind of a sheltered kid. And I'm going to say this because my channel is PG technically. I learned a lot from Tumblr of things that Tumblr allowed that Trina had never seen. And then they got bought, and then they got bad because they removed, they weren't just bad because they removed those things, to be fair. And then they got rebought by the original owners, and now it's good again. So I'm back on, which was like a very clear indication of my suffering mental health to go back on Tumblr. However, all the dropout accounts are on Tumblr. Like all the dropout shows, they're all on Tumblr because they're as mentally ill as I am. So it's actually kind of a really fun place now. Yeah, it weirdly got good again. And like John Green's back on it after he got bullied off the platform because he was accused of being a P word because his books
have teenagers that sometimes engage in normal teenage activities. So
So wild.
Wait,
absolutely
I'm
wild.
sorry. Are you fucking serious?
I'm not kidding. This was like a thing. It was horrifying. This poor man was
So
harassed like no tomorrow.
every adult that wrote all of the books I read during my teenage years about coming of age stories where people like
No,
literally-
that's what's unhinged about it. That's what's
I'm
unhinged
being
because the
very
thing
calm.
is, for the most part,
all
adults
calm.
are the ones writing books. Like most books don't get published by teenagers because you have to grow and develop your writing style and learn and get skilled, and like not all of us can be Marie Shelley. And she's incredible, but yeah, not all of us can be that. So most books are written by adults, right? So like, yeah, the implications of that are quite wild. But yeah, this poor man got bullied off Tumblr. But anyways, Tumblr's good again, and he's back on it as a coffee nonprofit.
Okay.
Yeah,
They do that.
but I was very much on Tumblr. There were unhealthy things I developed from Tumblr, but then also healthy things I developed. It was kind of an amalgamation of wildness. And I'm glad to be back on it because it's like kind of very, very wholesome now, and it's just like people loving things, and I just love people loving things.
That's a very diplomatic answer.
It is.
Trina's in her
Extreme
diplomatic
I'm trying to
era.
be calm.
Mhm.
The effort.
We're just gonna have to start getting like a mod-controlled on-screen blood pressure warning for you, where we can just mash a command and it'll pop up so you pay attention and don't have the chat delay of Trina, your blood pressure, Trina, your blood pressure, Trina,
Yeah.
your heart rate, Trina, your heart rate.
I never really got into Pinterest, actually, Everest. I know that surprises people, but I think Tumblr kind of gave me what a lot of people get from Pinterest, so I just never really
Why you cry?
went into that.
My light is
I'm big Pinterest.
freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you're freaking out?
Aww.
Light do a flicker. I'll give you some loving. Oh, what have you been
How about you,
doing?
Everest? Are you Tumblr or Pinterest?
Yodel on your face.
Giant
Also,
family feud buzzer.
If anyone's lurking, I'm literally a single follower away from 2,000. So, literally one.
Oh,
Literally one.
girl.
Literally
So,
one.
if anyone's lurking, literally one.
Will it
And
let
thank you,
us-
Miss Heart Lisa, for the follow that got me to 1999.
There we go. Okay, let's see if I can. Will it let me? Well, well, maybe not.
Are you typing
It'll
it
show
in
in
my
mine.
chat
Well, it
or in
depends who's
yours?
typing
Yeah,
it.
in my
I'm
chat.
typing it in my stream manager, but because our chats are merged.
Gotcha. I did a
If I
shout out that you should be able to click on in the shared chat, hopefully.
I know this is kind of a funny community to say this
Here
to
we go.
because a lot of like these 4 people, like we have a lot of shared communities, so people are probably already following.
It's true. I think we mostly. I mean, I wouldn't have made it to affiliate without y'all. So
Aw.
also thank you again.
Of course.
But yeah,
Oh,
yeah, for
shush.
sure.
Of course. And I'm excited to have you
Shush,
back because I've missed your streams, Candace.
Thank you. It's been
Mhm.
such a weird couple of months. Every time I think, okay, things are calming down, I can like actually write out an agenda for a stream and do a stream. Something goes chaotic to a degree
Yeah.
that is completely unforeseeable. But yeah.
Trina, show mug.
Oh,
Show
Show
mug.
mug.
yeah, it's a pottery from a local potter,
Ooh.
and I love that. So these divots
Ooh.
are shells, and they feel really nice on your thumb. So I use it as like a fidget, and it's beautiful.
Ooh.
I love it. It's the mug that I drink my morning tea out of usually, because it's like
I
a
love it so
beautiful
much.
size,
Thank you for
and
show
like
mug.
because of these ridges, it just like feels perfect for your
Mhm.
fingies. It's
That's the perfect stimmy mug. I love it.
yeah, it is. It is. I love. And like it's funny, the person I bought it from was like, "Yeah, I put the shells there because it feels good on your thumbs and you can go like this."
That's amazing.
Oh
Fantastic.
Great minds.
my goodness. I did not know that this was a username that existed that I must go and follow Andy on.
Andy,
Ooh. I didn't know that.
he's ready
Wait,
for
did I or
Twitch.
do I not? I feel like I do.
Is this Andy
Or
like
did you just change Andrea
Oh, that
7E?
yeah,
You
yeah,
changed it.
that Andy, yeah.
Same account.
We're not doxing anymore for reasons.
For reasons. Got it. Got it.
Well, Andy, I love the new username. Does that mean we're getting Andy Crochet streams on Twitch?
Oh my
Because
god,
I
yes.
can't do
Andy
the talk
Crochet.
talks, but I want to participate.
For sure.
Wait,
All.
Wait,
Yeah, we're
Riot,
all
did you
into
make a
sensory
new
stimmy things.
Riot, did you make an account so that you could follow me to get to those?
Yeah.
Robot at the right.
We did it! We got 2,000! Thank you! Guys, the most
2,000
unhinged
high.
the most unhinged stream is coming your way because of that. Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna be doing hobbies.
Robot at the right may have been an already existing account. I think this was the bot account, but I've never seen Robot at the right say anything that wasn't directly in response to a bot command before.
That's so funny.
That's delightful.
Ah,
That's so
clever
funny.
usage.
Iconic.
Well,
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense,
it's
'cause
gonna
I
be
had
I'm
to
gonna
make a-
basically do a
yeah.
bunch of hobbies that I don't actually do and I'm not gonna prepare beforehand.
Oh,
And
Thank
just
you for the
wing it.
follow.
That's the goal. So it's gonna be very entertaining.
Yes.
Related, I went and looked at my old account because I think I'm going to have a celebration stream when it dips below 3,000 followers.
That's so funny.
Wow. Wow.
I'm feeling the need to be unhinged. So if you're following the old account, just go and click unfollow real quick. I need 49 more of you to do it so I can
Okay,
throw a party.
Let's see.
That's very
All right,
that's
let's
so
see.
sad. I don't that oh my god. I'm gonna
Listen,
feel
if you don't want to,
I'm
if
just
you
gonna
don't want to,
listen,
I'm
I
just
know
trying to incentivize the internet to forget about that account.
Have I already done it? What?
Probably.
it's
What
gonna
is-
hurt
what is
me
it
just
again?
a little.
It's not.
Old first name underscore CEE.
Oh, it's the underscore that I missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Abby
Yeah,
underscore
underscore.
CEE.
It's gonna
I'm not
It's-
following on this account.
Yeah,
so-
when you max
Ah.
out your follows, do it.
okay. That's fair. I was like,
But
Oh,
you
no,
know,
I am. I am.
'Cause
So,
I'm not-
unfollowed. Mwahaha.
yeah. Well, because I literally
feels
hit
so wrong.
3,000 followers right before I stopped streaming. And then
"Oh,
it kind of like has been going up and down as like some random bots follow and then people
Yeah.
unfollow. And I'm like, get me below 3,000.
Annie!
But it's not about
Yay!
below 3,000. It is currently about Trina hit 2,000. Yay!
Mhm. Woo!
Little dance party.
Everybody party.
the hobby I'm most
Oh my
excited
God, you
for
guys.
is the making boats in bottles. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but
Ooh.
I can't wait. So yesterday, at the beginning of my 7:30 class, while we were waiting for 7:30 class to start, I thought it was going to be a really bad class. I just had a bad feeling about it because some guy was loudly and badly beatboxing along to Billy Joel's Longest Time. And I was like, this is going to be an experience. And it was an experience. It was actually a really good experience though, because it was the perfect kind of chaotic. So
Okay.
yeah, all's well that ends well.
I love that.
That's amazing.
The worst beatboxing I've ever heard.
Did
in
I
my
ever
life.
tell you guys about white chocolate?
That's
Is that your rapper name?
It's also
Not my
mildly
rapper name.
threatening.
But someone's rapper name.
Probably the
So-
guy's rapper name from yesterday.
Yeah, so in my hometown there's this Irish pub that does karaoke nights, right? And I don't go to a lot. I know this is gonna come like as a major shock, but I don't never went to like a lot of bars or clubs or things like that. Like never. Like it was really
No.
funny. People would laugh
There
at me
aren't,
because
like,
I like went to a club
Broadway
for a
themed
dance
bars?
competition once. Like I was competing, and that's when was just the location was at a club. But yeah, it's just never been my vibe. I did go to the country bar once with my friend who was like, we're gonna start really early so that Trina can experience her bucket list of going on the mechanical bull, but in a space where like no one else is there yet, so that it feels safe. Anyways, I did go to this karaoke night, because it was more pubby, so it was a little more low key, so I felt okay to go. And my friend's like, oh, I wonder if white chocolate's gonna be there today. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, oh, you don't go to these places, so I guess you're not aware of white chocolate. And I'm like, I'm concerned. She was like, yeah, so he's this dude that like every karaoke night at this place will like be on the list so many times as their stage name, White Chocolate. But as far as we know, they don't like do shows in other places. Like it's just karaoke night
just a
at this
karaoke
one
thing.
bar. And they often pick rap songs, but not always. And yeah, their
Okay.
stage name is White Chocolate, and I was like, that is like, I'm not gonna dox myself by saying the name of my hometown, but like for people that know, it is like it checks out so much. Like it's just like
Wow.
the most like it checks out so much. But yeah, that's the story of
Amazing.
White Chocolate if you were wondering.
I love
That's
it.
amazing. That's amazing.
Is your rap name Dubai Chocolate?
No. Well, first, I'm not Middle Eastern. And second,
I don't. We just talked about how I'm the geographically challenged American.
Okay.
right.
the
So
continent
wonder
has been
India and the Middle East are two different places.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the map.
I have a question though. Is like rosewater chocolate a thing in India?
I mean, rose water's a thing. I don't know if I've really had it in chocolate form. I've had it in lassi.
Because I feel
and-
like, and this again, this might be the colonial in me, but rosewater everything I associate with India, except for Turkish delight.
Yeah.
Turkish delight. But
Yeah.
to me, it's such an Indian flavor, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my head going, "Would rosewater chocolate be good? Maybe
Well, it
rosewater
is really
white chocolate.
Yeah, that would be really good, I think. Yeah, actually.
That would
I
be
think
really
that would
dope,
really good.
actually."
But yeah, it's kind
There's
of
a whole
funny. Yeah.
ocean in between those two
So I'm
places.
in South Asia, and you're thinking of like North Africa and the Middle East,
I'm
and those
so
are very
sorry.
different places. So
I'm so sorry,
Ardub is
Trina.
half North African because of the Libyan. No, it's actually kind of funny because of this, and this is actually like a lot of people mix up those two places. So it's kind of funny in the racism aspect because like people will just be this is a bet. Wonder isn't racist, okay? Wonder just doesn't know what a map is. And so like people
Wonder isn't racist. She's
Someone
American and was
clip
raised
that.
in an evangelical setting. It's the same difference.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not.
So like it's kind of funny because basically when people are being like super racist to Arabic people, they'll like put that on Indian people too. And it's like obviously you shouldn't be racist to Arabic people, but it's also just kind of funny because they're just like, y'all are all in the same place. Yeah. So
Oh my god.
and like there's some overlaps in culture for sure, like and also
Exactly.
India has a major Muslim population, and that is part of the mix up, and partition really messed us up. And then yeah, there was the invasion of India from some Middle Eastern countries, so like there's definitely overlap and everything. So but yeah, it's always a little entertaining to me. Like the racism makes me laugh because of that. Like I'm not even kidding, because it's like you're not even in the right continent, bro.
Yeah,
Like
some of it's so out of pocket.
it's
Like
so
out of pocket. Yeah.
it's just so out of
There's a
pocket.
big ocean between them.
Yeah. Wonders learning. There's a big ocean.
It's a live learn of a different
It's a really
sort.
big ocean.
It's a really big. This is so funny. Yeah, so I am South Asian, and before partition, when it was all India, my dad's yes, Bangladesh is not a part of India anymore. But that's the partition aspect.
Oh.
So
Oh yeah, there it is.
so it used to
Right.
all be India, right? And then the British, when they left, and they were
Okay.
like, "You can be free, but we're gonna destroy your country right before we leave." So, what they did is they split it into India and Pakistan. And then later,
Oh.
Pakistan got split into Pakistan and Bangladesh. So with me, I'm Bengali, and my dad's side of the family originated in what's now Bangladesh, but they always just knew it as India. So what happened during partition is Muslim people had to go to Pakistan and later Bangladesh, and then Hindu people had to go to what stayed as India. So a lot of Indian and Pakistani and Bangladeshi people have like these weird, complicated histories with where we're from. Like I've never been to where my grandparents on my dad's side grew up, and like that's kind of wild to me. And it's what's now Bangladesh, and yeah, the British really effed us up. But yeah, it's interesting because like my grandparents' side, like they just always called themselves Indian even after partition, because like when you grow up in a country and then suddenly it's
Yeah.
not all one, like it's so bonkers. So yeah. So yeah, like my grandpa as a child was basically forced to go to the Indian part, but his family couldn't leave because, and it was a massive risk for them to stay, but money wise they wouldn't be able to support their child if they left. So
Oh no.
yeah, and
Well,
then
that
when my
totally makes sense for the region too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
100%. If you look at all of the history there, like my father-in-law collects Persian maps. He's from
yeah,
Iran, and part of the reason why he does that is it's very hard to find two Persian maps that are exactly the same.
mm-hmm.
Like the number of changes, they just
Oh yeah,
rapid fire, boom, 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 boom,
absolutely,
constantly.
absolutely. Yeah, and so like he went like as a kid, and then like he tried to go to school and then had to drop out to support the family, which was actually kind of a full circle, because then when my dad went to university, he went to the same place that my grandpa had to drop out of, but he was able to finish his education, so it was very like a full circle
Like a
moment.
bittersweet.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's intense.
yeah,
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 my father-in-law had to
I
come over
have a
here because of the revolution, but then because he was the first one here, he had to like try to pull everybody over as fast as he could.
yeah.
And then you see the results between those who were able to be pulled over very quickly and the ones that didn't have that opportunity. And so there's a lot of difference, both culturally, but also just like physically, the
Mm.
devastation
Oh
that
yeah,
went all throughout there. Yeah.
absolutely.
I have a
Wonder,
geography
did you say you had a
question.
question?
I have a geography question.
Great.
So I noticed as I'm looking at this map, I noticed that Pakistan and Bangladesh are far. India's between them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, partition didn't
Is
make
that
sense.
what partition is? Oh, okay.
Partition didn't make sense with how they geographically organized it. Like it
All
didn't
of the
make sense.
inbreeding, the years of royal family inbreeding, and you expect them to make sense in drawing arbitrary fucking lines?
So they were like, some of you go here and some of you go here, and you're technically the same thing, even though we're calling it different things.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
If
a choice.
you watch, what is it? The Ms. Marvel
It's so good.
show?
Watch Miss
It
Marvel.
actually
yeah,
gives
yeah.
you it gives you a really good overview and shows you like at the literal moments that partition was happening, sort of the chaos and how it was handled. And like, I don't want to speak over Trina on this, but as someone who they don't really talk about it, it's kind of a shameful thing. It's just like, oh, this happened, by the way. Let's just go and be racist to
Well, like,
everyone who's brown skinned in our country.
even as someone
that
who is
show
Indian,
gave me a lot of insight.
Even as someone who is Indian, like, we hardly talk about it because of the pain aspect. Like, it's such a source of pain from the older generations that, like, we barely learned about it because it was just, like, so traumatic. And so, like, to see this mainstream show addressing it, like, I ended up watching it with my parents for a second time. And bless you. And it was lovely. And actually, my mom was like, my mom came to me. I was planning to go to her about it to watch it, but then she actually came to me saying, oh, like, I had a phone call with, like, one of her family friends, and she, like, recommended this superhero show to me, and I was, like, kind of confused. And she was like, no, you gotta watch it. You don't understand. Yeah. Also, there's so much going on in the chat that we're just, like, fully...
Oh, I'm, like, reading, but, like, I'm bouncing back and forth a bit.
Yeah.
No,
we'll be
sure.
a little bit less interactive with chat, just so that the conversation can keep going, but know that we're all reading and seeing these things.
For sure.
But yeah, it's the reason why there's so much, like, overlap in all these different countries. It's because it used to be one, and yeah, it's and then even in the ways like yes, there was an invasion, but there was, even within that, still a lot of solidarity between different religions. Like, pre-partition, like, Muslims and Hindus just, like, kind of lived side by side. It wasn't, like, a thing. Like, the British really kind of started that religious conflict and everything. Like, all of that stuff was really, like, because they were like, oh, there's these two, and Sikhs and, like, everyone, and Christians even, like, there's all these religions living in harmony. We can't have that.
that is so spot on.
I have another geography question. So I'm looking at this map, and I can't help but notice there's like many continents worth of distance between the United Kingdom and India. How'd they get there?
I mean, the United Kingdom boated everywhere and pillaged, and, like, it's actually, so I just finished reading the Poppy War trilogy. But boats were the big thing.
Trina, do not make yourself deeply unwell talking about the Poppy trilogy now.
I know, but I'm not going to go into detail, but I will say the Poppy War trilogy doesn't really cover as much of the India side of things, but it does cover the China side of things and how the British and Japan was very involved in the, like, opium slave trade and everything in China. The Indian part comes in because we Indians were enslaved to farm the opium that they would then send to China.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Long story short is we had boats, we had money, and we wanted everyone else's resources. And that is 90% of colonialism happened because of resources, not necessarily land, which I think is a common misconception, is that, like, Brits wanted to annex land. Not necessarily. There was obviously, like, when the New World was being founded and stuff, that was kind of a push to say we have new land. But it was also, when we all went all in on it, it was resources. We wanted the resources from that land. It's not that Brits wanted to spread it throughout the land so that we covered more of the globe. It was to bring the resources back to England to have the control and the wealth more than anything else.
And it really was. And, like, that was the thing. It was like the Poppy War does very much address the stealing of resources and the, like, and even, like, people in the colonized countries starting to believe the lies of, like, the British just are smarter. The British, like believing those lies because they've been, like, propagandized to not realize that they're literally stealing the resources from these other countries and then using them for their own like weapons and everything. Babel by R.F. Kuang does cover more of the India part of it as well as China. But that book is very much like the Poppy War is more about the China Japan wars and the Nanjing massacre and like all these like horrible things that like nobody knows about, like they're not talked about in history. But and that's why I say like I obviously recommend the Poppy War, but I tell people like you got to look up the trigger warnings and like research a bit of the actual history that the book covers before getting into it, because um like it's very shocking and she doesn't hold back. And the reason she wrote it was because she was studying Chinese history and was like, I'm a Chinese person and I didn't know any of this, so like what are the chances of anyone else knowing any of this? And I only know this because now I'm majoring in Chinese history. Like if you're not
Right.
taking this specialized thing, and that's why she wrote the Poppy War, like the first book she wrote when she was like 19, like absolutely wild. But Babel is very much a exploration about that resource and translation and the stealing of language, and the stealing of um technology and those kind of things, more specifically. And yeah, it's really fascinating. Thank you for the 3-stream streak, Chris.
Oh, you have a good rest, Everest.
Have a good rest, Everest.
Yeah, sleep well,
Sleep
Everest. Thanks for
well.
hanging.
Yeah, I think trying to learn through
Sleep well.
everything that's been covered up is so tricky.
Mhm.
I didn't come to any of my knowledge about anything other than just United States, like tiny pocket of things, until I started dating my now husband, Colonel's dad. If Colonel's still in chat. But yeah, because the family is from Tehran, it's been a huge amount of learning
Yeah.
since we got together and since we got married. And even then, trying to watch as Trina, like you were saying, there are the cultural differences of how different people approach the histories, right? So part of the family is very much like we want to teach all of the kids every single thing. And then part of the family is like, it's too painful.
Yeah.
We're not going to teach anything.
Yeah.
And then when the two sides of the family get together, it is so difficult. Like half the family's speaking Farsi, half the family's just
Yeah.
nodding and going, cool. I hope so.
Yeah, that's
It-
so
it's
tough.
kind of wild.
That's so tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of education and speaking of Tehran, could you tell us a little bit about Yalda?
Oh, Yalda. Yes, we're coming up on the solstice. So the winter solstice is, we have it here and throughout many places in the world. In Tehran, we have Yalda, which is the celebration of the sun defeating the darkness. So we have this one dark night of the year, right? And then the sun wins this battle and we start to have our longer days. And so we celebrate with fire and food and being comfortable together. And it's a time when people open their homes to their neighbors and people come and visit. So it's a good time. We've had a really good time with it. It's not something that my in laws have ever celebrated. They're more into Nowruz, which is the spring solstice for us here, but that's the Persian New Year. And so that's kind of their time. But for our family, we wanted to keep with the history, especially for our kids, because they are very separated. None of my kids know any Farsi because of political.
Yeah.
Neither my youngest nor my husband have been allowed to go back to Tehran, or they would be instantaneously subject to the draft.
Yeah.
And everybody who went with them would be then subject to sticking around until that's resolved. So they haven't been able to do that. That's been kind of rough. And so we try to learn where we can, and we try to incorporate the little things that we can, especially the things that are joyful.
Mm.
And Yalda is also
Mm.
agnostic, like it's secular
Mm-hmm.
entirely. There is no religious component to it. That's another thing that I think people, especially learning history in the US, seem to miss, is that there are huge portions of Persian history that are secular, that
Mm-hmm.
aren't
Yeah.
deeply religious. Where it is, everybody's cool with whoever for big chunks of time and big areas because it wasn't politicized for a long time.
Yeah.
And so in Iran, it's not until the revolution in the 70s that we start seeing secularism being pushed out forcefully, and then the regime kind of being installed.
Right.
And the regime is not something that I can speak on very much because that's just it's not mine,
Yeah.
but that's something that we look at a lot, of how my father-in-law would have been brought up, what he would have remembered in Tehran before the regime, back when things were a little bit more friendly, I
Yeah.
guess, to like neighbor small areas at least. And that's what we try to do. And so we
Yeah.
lean into Yalda, coming up in a couple of Sundays here. So we'll be making Fezenjan and Tadig. That's
I love that.
one of the few things that I can make.
It's so
I'm
good.
still learning. And we'll be making it with our homegrown saffron.
Oh, I love
I
that.
love that. I love it
Oh
so
my
much.
gosh.
There's
it'll be good.
actually like, this is like a part of history that I'm still kind of learning about, but there is like a Persian and Indian population.
Mhm.
Because like Freddie Mercury was Parsi, which is like the Persian Indian population, Desi. It's really funny when I learned Freddie Mercury was Desi, I was like, what? No one talks about that. Everyone assumes Freddie
Yeah.
Mercury was a white man. Freddie Mercury was not a white man.
No, he was not. And it was very much something that they did not want to get
Mhm.
out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Freddie Mercury was Zoroastrian.
Yeah.
Can you imagine in that time in England, like, even
Yeah.
going through that period of time, like, what, no.
And like
Went
they
into that.
erased his bisexuality too.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
and that's why generally I really liked the Freddie Mercury biopic movie, but the one thing I didn't like is there's a scene, and I wouldn't have minded the scene on its own if it was addressed later and like kind of like fixed, but there's a scene where he's with his wife and he says like, I think I'm bisexual, and she responds with, no, Freddie, you're gay. And that might have actually happened, that interaction. I don't know. But like there wasn't any like resolution to that, and like the realization, no, this was just a time where people didn't believe bisexuality was real. And because of that, I was really frustrated because I was like really excited, like, okay, like I was happy they addressed his ethnicity so much more in that biopic. Like I was really glad to see that. But yeah, like the bisexuality was just swept under the rug still. And I was like, this bisexual Desi man is like this giant icon in our history, and like nobody knows these things.
Yeah. Well, and part of it is because Freddie was very fiercely private at the time. And I think a lot of that came from, like, if you watch documentaries about his youth and the way he was raised and stuff, I think a lot of it came from that, and from, not being a white person in a highly white society, and not being a straight boy in a super straight society. And like, you have to remember I hate to say it, I say it all the time, and I don't want it to sound like an excuse, but product of the age, like people didn't know what they didn't know. But he was fiercely private. So he was with Mary for years and years and years, and did not. It was only when he started having the big overstated parties where people were eating lunch meat off of naked dwarves that it started to become like a big thing.
You That's so
Uh-huh.
horrified.
Problematic history. History is problematic.
It is.
I'm sorry. I feel like we're just
deeply is.
bursting so many little.
No, it's good. I failed AP World History. Actually, I didn't fail it. I failed the test that would have made it count as a credit. So essentially, I did fail it.
Oh.
And
Mm,
oh my God, do you guys? Okay, do you want to hear? Do you want to hear a story?
yes,
Always.
Yes,
always.
please.
Okay, so, little context. So I was a straight A student, completely unacknowledged by my parents, and I was like very good at studying. But I have dyscalculia, so I'm really bad with dates. And what is world history if not
So
dates?
much dates.
So I was trying to study for this huge test I had coming up, and my mom was like, "Hey, like you're gonna come with me on this trip to like I don't even know where we were going. We were going to like Walla Walla or something, and like we lived in Olympia, Washington at the time, and Walla Walla is like
That's
3,
a solid
4, 6
drive.
hours
Yeah.
away. It's a solid drive." And I was like, "Okay, but like I have to study." And she was like, "Oh, you can just bring your stuff in the car. Y'all, I get car sick."
Mhm.
And she knew that. And also, like, I was neglected, as most of you know. I was neglected as a child, and so my mom, like, extending this experience to me, I was
She's
like, "Well, hell
please,
yeah, I'm gonna
please,
do this."
please. I need to, but
Yeah.
also, yikes. Yeah.
And then and then I completely flunked my test as a result of this. So, thanks,
Oh
mom.
my
That's my story.
no. Oh my god.
I love that we're in a position where like we know each other so well that we know that we are allowed to laugh,
Yeah.
but yet it is this very sad, tragic thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's fine. I probably would have failed anyway, right?
Oh, what?
no.
Some people have parents who like help them with flashcards and memorization, and that's like a fairy tale fantasy world, like akin to the existence of dragons for me.
Mm.
Oh my god.
I hate to sound predictable, but whenever you start with "do you want to hear a story" in that particular tone of voice, there is like a 95% chance that your mum is involved in it.
Oh my god.
You have a very distinct "hello, my very unique childhood trauma" tone of voice. Candace, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I 100% do. I so do.
See, Andy agrees.
I don't
There
know
is
that I
this
had ever processed that that's what it was, but like checks, story
because
checks.
there's a
confirmed.
difference that is like, do you want to hear a story that is about
Yeah.
like tea or drama or
Mhm,
like
mhm.
crappy former relationships or people being mean to Jimothy, which comes with a very angry,
Oh,
do you
that's
want to hear a
different
story?
tone. That's that I feel like if it has to do with Timothy, it's like a step back and a like, no, I'm taking this space, we go. And like we're all like, yeah, who do we have to beat up?
We have to
But
fight.
the
It's
childhood
usually my mom.
yeah, but the childhood trauma is usually like a lean in and a hey.
Yeah.
Like, there's a like, whoa. There's a moment to it.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
There is
No, I love that. Oh,
there
I
is a
can't believe that I had
certain
never put that together.
yeah. Yep. It's the same way in that I can tell when there is a particular pop culture thing that has gotten Trina going because of the way that you go, "oh my god," and your voice gets really, really high pitched. And it's not like a "we're mad at the world, we're mad at capitalism,
Yeah.
we're mad at everything else." It is the tone of your voice that says, "someone has done something with the pulp culture I care about and I'm not okay."
Hi,
It's
Kalabama Bear.
when
We still don't know who Kalabama Bear is, by the way. I have
Hi,
a guess.
Kalabama Bear.
But I have a guess, but we don't know for sure, and I think it's very funny.
Who else comes in with the Zoe Wren giggle emote? I feel like that might be a tell.
I think so. I was thinking it might be Peter at first. but I don't know if it is anymore.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
Let me bring you into the scandalizing, horrific weirdness of my childhood trauma. Oink, oink. Yep.
And it's funny because, like, I assumed, like, Liv and Brittle knew, but they don't either. Like, they had a spreadsheet going of, like, commonalities between I don't know if it was an actual spreadsheet, but they had this whole thing going of commonalities with, thank you for the follow, with what Kalaba Bear says in different communities and what other people say in different communities to try to figure
Oh my God.
it out.
That's amazing.
So amazing.
That's
I love
wild.
it so much.
That's a level of checking things out that
Yeah.
I thoroughly approve of.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Oh my word. Whew. Oh, deep breath. I gotta remember to stay up on my water. I've been struggling to
Thank you
remember.
for the streak, Kalaba Bear. 3 streak. The Twitch music community is crazy.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love our little isms. Like, I love how there was like a moment where I was like, is Candace fake? Like she sounds so like rehearsed
Oh,
and like
Is Candace
clever
fake?
on purpose. And I was like, is Candace fake?
no, for
And
real.
then now that I like know her very well, I'm like, oh no, she's just that like effortlessly clever and brilliant, and like that is just who she is.
It's more that there's so much
Okay.
rehearsing going on in
Thank
here.
you, Annabelle.
It's like bad news level of rehearsing, but yes, fully. So my second born, we call her Siren when we're talking online, but we were up at the now defunct Beery house, unfortunately, right? Wonder knows. But we were up there and we were taking a friend that I knew from Sundance. I worked for Sundance for 7 years, and he gets to Seattle and he stops at the gas station. He's just like, look, before we get into this week together, I need you two to understand that whatever this thing is, whatever this like telekinetic, what telepathy, like he can't find the word fully, but he's like, this thing where you two just look at each other, but you don't say words. We just like, we
Yep.
know what we're doing. There's a lot of that. Yeah. So most of my setups, all of that. Oh yes, the stage training and the code switching combo. That's fair. That's
yes.
fair. See, Colonel's got my number.
Mhm.
That absolutely. Colonel knows. Growing up in this house, and also like growing up. So my code switching is all wonky because I grew up being raised in a very white household, but also a Mormon household. Like my adoptive family is LDS, and so that stepping out of that as a
Dang.
teenager and realizing, oh, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not who I am.
That would be a trip.
It is here. Like there's
Yeah.
so much of Salt Lake in Utah that is, you don't know what you're dealing with. The recruiter that called me yesterday for this job that I'm hopefully going to find out more about next week, but I got her name and I ended up Googling her last night because I'm like, that name sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Why does this name sound so familiar? She's a jazz singer and a stage performer. She just happens to
Oh.
also do recruiting for a medical company.
Oh my gosh.
Sure, why not?
Oh, Kalaba Bear, so salty that everything floats. Everything floats, and most of the salt is brine shrimp. It smells like death. And if the wind blows,
Ew.
it smells like death all through the valley for days on end.
Oh.
It's like,
Oh my god.
it's death and rotten eggs. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for the follow. Death and rotten eggs.
I
Yeah,
love
death and
that's
rotten
that's a
eggs.
beautiful
We call it the
term.
lake effect. It's lovely. But yeah, so this recruiter, I had to like kind of cyber stalk her for a moment to be like, what happens if my tattoos show? Is that going to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
no job for you situation? What happens if I accidentally like slip up and use something that's almost a curse? Is that enough that I don't get this job? So
Okay, yeah.
that's Utah. That's Utah.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
funny Irish pubs do not have fun Irish bands. They have things like the cover band here, Rage Against the Supremes, which is exactly what you think it is.
You know, I think that's so extra funny because of what Rage Against the Machine
She's gone.
represents
She's absolutely gone.
and what they talk about and what they do. Like, they one time weren't available to accept an award because they were at a Palestine protest. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And in Utah, the fact that you're in a bar, that is a protest. Like, that's the biggest protest you could possibly have. It's a whole thing. Yeah, we're precious. We are
I love-
wow.
dearly precious.
So my favorite Utah
I
story,
just
I've
think-
never been to Utah.
Oh,
but
do you
I
have a
was
favorite
at
Utah story.
I
yeah.
love it.
So I was at
I haven't been to Utah, but my favorite Utah story, implying that there
I
are
love
other
it.
Utah
I'm
stories.
so ready. Well, it's like Florida Man, but like
Yeah.
Utah
Mhm.
has 100%. Yes.
So
I
I was
cannot wait.
at it was the World Music Therapy Conference a few years ago. World conference, and this will be relevant. So it was like our lunch break, and I was outside with a couple friends, and this like woman comes up to us because she sees we have our conference badges and is like, "Hey, do you mind if I eat lunch with you?" And we're like, "Yeah, of course." And like she's kind of giving the energy of someone that's freshly graduated. Like there is a very I'm a freshly graduated music therapist and I just like have rose-colored glasses and everything's
I haven't
amazing.
been as traumatized yet.
Yeah. So
It's the I haven't actually worked as a music therapist and realized how little we get paid.
yeah.
Look.
So the thing is she's giving that energy, but then it's slowly being revealed through this conversation that she's not a freshly graduated music therapist and she has a music therapy company based in Utah that's like been around for a while. And she, you know, she is younger, but like so are a lot of music therapists because it is a newer profession. But so she's talking to us and like the first key was her, you know, we're on our lunch break and most people that have even been in the profession for more than 2 years acknowledge lunch break. We're not talking about marker music therapy. We're just hanging out. And so the first thing she says is, what type of music therapists are all of you? Like, where's your specialty? And we're like, oh, okay. So we thought she was brand new. And so we're talking, and because it's my friend group of music therapists, we're talking about like anti-oppressive practice and decolonization and like all this like stuff.
No.
And like she wasn't rude about it or like she was just like it was like she had never heard these words before. Like she was really like, wow, I've never heard about these frameworks. Like that is fascinating. And then she's talking about how like she's just like learning so much at this conference, but the things she's talking about she's learning, I'm like, that was like music therapy 101 course. Like what talks are you going to where that's your mind-blowing takeaway? And then so we're just like at this point, like me and my two friends were just like fascinated by this person. Like we're just like so interested. And then she's like, and then we're talking about like cultural competency and like we're having to describe things in like the most basic ways possible. Like really like someone who's never had to consider these things in their life probably doesn't have a single non-white friend, like very much. And she's just like her mind is like blown by like these super basic concepts, and we're having to describe them. It's like
you can see the
her.
blank page
You
that's
can
in there. Yes,
you can. And she was like very kind and like interested, but it was like a wild thing. And then we were like, and then it came out she's based in Utah and has a music therapy business based there. And it was funny because she was also like fangirling over other music therapists walking by that she's like heard of, and that also gave me the "oh, you're a brand new music therapist" vibe. Like someone would walk by and
Yep.
she was like, "oh my god, is that XYZ person?" And
There are two people in the field that you can do that with.
yeah.
If you see Deforia Lane, you
Yeah.
stop and you have a moment. And that is just out of pure amount of respect, but it's not
Yeah.
fangirling. It's not like, oh my god, it's Deforia Lane. It's just
No.
like,
fan.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the fan behavior in Utah. I tell you, I think Sundance is in for a surprise when they move after this year because they are used to the fanning that
Yeah.
happens here, and it is hardcore. It's
I did
massive.
like I got like pretty excited when I met Carolyn Shaw, because she's done a lot of disability justice work within the music therapy field. But when the only time I fangirled though was when she came up to me and said, "I've learned so much from you this conference," and I was like, "What do you mean you've learned so much?"
That's such a cool moment.
Me.
Holy crap.
And now we're Facebook friends. Like it was and I'm just like sitting here like,
Amazing.
okay, this is fine. So like, I mean, I acted normal though. Like I wasn't like in my chair like, oh my god, it's Carolyn Shaw. Like this person was
because you're
going.
like trying
Yeah.
to not give that.
Yeah.
That's not exactly how you want that first interaction to
No.
yeah.
But yeah, that was it was very fascinating. But yeah, when she dropped the Utah, I was like,
Oh
mhm.
yeah.
Also,
like,
heads
oh,
up to
this
people
makes
on my
sense.
channel, there's going to be an ad break in like 15
Yeah.
seconds. Heads up.
Yeah, I've got one in about 5. You know what? I'll just run it at the same time because I can push it.
I think I got booted off of my channel. I think mobile is having a hard
Oh,
time.
no.
This
Yeah,
is
I
fair.
think you got
in
booted
here.
off too, because like you're just frozen on my screen,
hanging.
like on your channel,
Really?
not on that
Oh,
not
on
on
your
the
channel.
actual on
Okay,
my
not on
channel,
here.
like not on
Right.
yeah,
here.
no, you're fine on here.
But
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I can see you here.
Andy, what you should know about music therapy is that unlike social work, where young people in the field get into leadership and professional positions, music therapy is an old white woman's club. So a lot of people, the cultural competency that they receive in their training, because it is required that they are taught about it, is people come from different cultures. You should acknowledge that they come from different cultures. Doing so is called cultural competency.
oh my god.
Now, about more hymns about Jesus. It's very
And to be fair, like Echo's experience is quite different than mine. Like some of the things Echo's told me about the States education has blown my mind. Like when Echo said there was someone selling freaking doTERRA MLM
Oh yeah.
like
at conference, yeah.
oils at
Which is from
conferences.
Utah.
Of course it is.
Hey.
Of course it is. But like I will
let's
say
move back
like,
to
and I'm
Utah.
like Canada, like we do have our problems in the field for sure. Like I'm not gonna ever deny that we do have our issues.
Hi,
But
Alta.
but some of the things that I've learned from Echo like really have blown my mind that they're even a thing. Like our cultural competency wasn't perfect, but it wasn't that. Like it was
Yeah.
And the music therapy groups also make me like I get so confused by some of the questions people ask, because they'll be like, I'm working with this client with this ethnicity. What song should I use? And I'm like, I don't know, ask them. Like like it's just like
Yep.
the most basic, like when you're in your internship, you learn client-centered. You don't assume what kind of music someone likes by their age or their diagnosis or their culture. If they can't communicate it, you go to their family. If they have a first language and there's like really no communication, try a few different songs from the language they speak, see how they respond to them. Like you don't just go, hi, I have a Spanish client. What song should I like?
Well,
what are you doing?
And to give a frame of reference,
obviously.
to give a frame of reference, the bulk of those questions come from people who are working in healthcare settings with older adults who the limitations of the American healthcare system is that a lot of the people who wind up in those settings have zero family involvement.
When I say go to
and
their families, to be clear, I'm not saying ask what the family likes. I'm saying, do the family know what the client likes?
yeah, no,
But even
we
then,
don't
like,
have the option because of the way that the US health system works. A lot of times they are shoved, we get no history about them. These poor people are shoved in a skilled nursing facility. We don't even have portable standard healthcare records in the US.
Wow.
So that's how you can doctor shop in the US. So we can't even go back and look and say, like, here is their community doctor history and here is that. If they are, what a lot of them are, is neglected and APS gets involved and pulls them out, unless the social worker who's working for APS goes and does a lot of that work, which they're all too stressed to do, we don't know anything about those people. So a lot of it is them being, number one, lazy, is not wanting to go and do it because they are given too many clients and not enough time to do their work for them. Number two is that we don't have a lot of information available at our fingertips, especially when Medicaid and Medicare is involved.
Yeah.
Or if it's a complex patient.
And the bonus is number three, undergraduate education, unless you are at one of a few very specific schools, is not improv heavy. So students are not taught that it is okay to start from a place of improv. Use your cultural competency in that. And if you have someone who is like clearly from Ireland, I don't know, maybe improvise pentatonic stuff around a real sounding background. Like, pick from there. But that's a big part of it, is that the training is so song heavy and the resources that we are provided through the healthcare is so piss poor.
I
have no excuse for the ones who are like, I'm working with a 15-year-old boy for depression. Hi,
I have a cultural competency question.
Yes, please. Save me from the horrible response I was about to give.
With the raising hands.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so do you know that song that got really popular and the melody? It's not even okay. The melody is, there's not even lyrics in this chorus, and the chorus is just like la 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 la. Okay, so I was somewhere and I heard a Spanish song happening to that melody. Was that originally a Spanish song and then some non-Spanish person who couldn't speak Spanish was just like, I'm just gonna yoink this?
I do believe it was a sample. I do believe it was
I think
a
it
sample.
was.
I mean, one of the biggest
Colonel knows.
Toxic by Britney Spears was a sample of a Bollywood song. The do 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 do.
Oh yeah,
that was a sample of a Bollywood song. Yeah.
Floor.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, now we're starting to get a little bit better about people identifying when things are a sample because of the litigiousness of well, number one, copyright ID. Number two, the litigiousness of artists. Not artists, the litigiousness of artist management. The exception being Taylor Swift, who I am sorry, I'm not a Swiftie. I don't have many things I can say in her corner positively, but the fact that she went after Olivia Rodrigo is a crock of bullshit.
She was like, first of all, Olivia was like 17 years old at the time as well. Their songs didn't sound anything alike. That's the other thing.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. And like, I'm one of those people that like, I went through like a weird journey with Taylor Swift, right? Like when I was a teenager, I really enjoyed Speak Now because I called it her emo album because it kind of was like, you know,
from where she had been. Yeah.
From where she had been. Yeah. Sure. And then I did, again, this was before she was massive. I had like internalized sexism where like, I was like, I don't want to listen to the popular, like girly music. So I'm going to like pretend to really dislike her. And then I grew up a bit, and then I was like, no, I actually like some of her songs, and I'm realizing now that as I've grown up that I am internalizing sexism. And then you grow up a bit more, and then you find some nuance in the conversation, and you're like, you know, you can give understanding for teenagers, but once that person's an adult and they're still having the same talking points as when you were like 16 years old, there's a problem there. There's a problem in weaponized white supremacy and like the pretending like you need to be protected at all costs because you're just a small, like, sweet little white girl that like can't do anything.
Like the coping skills that were acceptable when you were an
Yeah.
adolescent still need
And
to grow
then
up with
and
you.
then
You
like
need to grow some new
obviously
ones.
like I'm someone where it's like I don't have patience anymore for public figures that don't speak out at all on like important causes. Like, you know, when like Ariana Grande's and Sabrina Carpenter's and like Olivia Rodrigo's have come out to talk about Palestine, like what is Taylor Swift's excuse? Like truly, what is her excuse? You know, like all these giant mega people, they haven't lost their audiences. They haven't like suddenly like lost all these opportunities, right? Like they spoke out and they were fine. And if anything, they gained more listeners. Like honestly, like that's really what happened. Um so like all that stuff, and then like her being a billionaire, and you know, like the amount that she could do, the amount of influence that you have, and like you release your Miss Americana documentary where like you're talking about how all the people around you are telling you to keep quiet, and you're like, I want to be on the right side of history. Did you just like release the documentary and then go, okay, that was my being on the right side of history by expressing
like
that?
what a performance.
And then and then I'm not going to actually go for it. I'm like, endorsing Kamala Harris is not like, you did like underneath the bare minimum. Like I actually liked the Chapel Rowan approach where she was like, I'm not going to actually endorse someone, because telling I'm voting for someone is very different from saying I endorse someone. Like those are different things. And like, I don't believe in the idolization of political figures. I have a lot of problems with Kamala. Am I going to vote for her? Yeah, I kind of have to because I don't want Trump. But I'm not going to sit here and not criticize her, because like we can't just like put politicians on pedestals. Like they work for us. So I really liked that approach. And I'm not saying, like, at the same time, like I understand people that do the endorsing when things are like in a very stressful, like urgent situation. But like you're not just like, you're not gonna like posting a picture of you with your cat and then saying I'm voting for Kamala, like, wow, great. You've changed the world. Like
I do have some feelings
kinda
about
did.
that. I do have some feelings. She didn't just say, it wasn't just a picture of her and her cat. She did actually go into reasons.
Yeah.
Now it was a very manufactured post. But
it was, and I think it wasn't terrible.
I would argue that what Chapel did was actually really quite harmful to her community that she rose on the back of, which is the queer community. And when it was not people in general, it was the queer community fans that were her core fan base at that point in time, because she was on the uprise. I think for her to respond the way she did, it's not even the initial response, it's the response to the backlash, I think was immature, and I think was frankly offensive.
Okay.
And I think that if you as a white woman are going to come in and appropriate the work of specifically queer men and specifically Black queer men, and that community is reaching out and asking you to say, this is causing us harm. We want you to excite the young fan base and show us that you actually support us. And to then turn around and say, no, I'm not going to endorse anyone, blah, 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 blah. It's pick and choose your battles. And I think that was frankly a really problematic thing to do.
Okay, so I didn't actually know that context, like that additional context of queer people calling her in. So like I do think that kind of shifts my perspective, because like from and I guess like again, it's like whatever you see on your algorithm is so different oftentimes, but
Yeah.
from what I was seeing, it was very different. So I do hear you with that, because from what I had seen,
Isn't it fun when we
was
can
just
have
different.
discussions like this and disagree?
Look at us having mature discussions and like disagreeing, but
love
like
it.
not screaming at each other. Wow.
What?
And it's one of those
Wait,
things where it's like,
so-
Somebody arrest us.
yeah,
Like, come
it's one of those
on.
things where it's like, as long as you don't disagree with me on like basic human rights, like I think I can have a conversation with you. It's usually how it goes. But yeah, that's kind of fair. And yeah, I didn't actually know part of that context. So like that's good to know,
Yeah.
because and I was like very emotional about Palestine for that. I mean, I still am, but like my eyes were just like so set on that for so many different ways, like just like as someone with friends with family there. And so I do think I missed things because of where my focus was.
Totally.
But
I think
because like
that-
I do
Part of the
agree with the
plan, right?
objective
Like, they're trying to
idea.
just overload.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I do
it
agree
is
with the
part of the
objective
plan.
idea that we shouldn't expect people to endorse, but we can still have them come kindly and say, I am voting for this person, and I do think other people should too because of XYZ. And like, but what I'm hearing is the context between what led to that wasn't a kind response with what was actually being called in.
It's a little of column A and a little of column B. So a big part of what Chappell's response I don't think takes into account is that the role of celebrities in the media has changed drastically over the past 5 years post-pandemic. And the role of celebrities in the news cycle as it pertains to politics is drastically different than
That's
it
very
was
true.
historically.
That's very true.
And if you look especially at the transmission of, it used to be that if you wanted to be in the know about the news, that you would watch the news. And then if you went on your YouTubes and your TikToks and to your concerts, you didn't hear about politics. You didn't hear about geopolitics. You didn't hear about the economy. You didn't hear about any of these grown-up things, right? You could separate news and entertainment. And the fact is that when social media brought news into people's social feeds, that completely changed. And there is a significant degree of privilege, I think, that comes with that, of saying people need to go out and do their own research. A lot of times scrolling their timeline for them is research. It may be all they have access to. It may be that they come from a background, like if you went to a school that didn't teach you a lot of this stuff in your required US history class, where are you going to learn it? And this specific generation that we're talking about is a generation that grew up on the internet.
Yeah.
It's not like you're on the cusp, right? You're on that Gen Z millennial cusp. So you still remember when Google was Google.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, I had dial-up as a kid. Like,
Yeah. So you remember when Facebook or MySpace used to be purely that, and it was a very rare thing for people to talk about stuff, and it was actually seen as like alt culture.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you were by
really-
default
People
seen
did
as
not
like an
that. It was like, oof.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the space of people who listen to rage music and are ultra feminist and are reading and publishing zines, and like that separation was so far apart. There is no separation for kids today. So what was happening was not only were older queers trying to call in the younger generation, but again, people who were already starting to be like, hey, you rose to fame on the back of appropriating our stuff. Please respond. Please respond. Like there are so many layers to it of where my disappointment comes from. It's not just one, it's not just the other. But it is a very I am a intelligent white woman approach to say, well, you should go and do your own research.
Yeah.
It
No, that's
is to
fair.
a degree.
That's
And
fair.
I do think that you're right to call it out as being generational too, and to call it the access issue. I just worked my most recent election. I've been an election worker since 2020, and oof, oof, I've never felt so completely disheartened as I felt leaving this last election. And I mean, for especially when it wasn't presidential. Anytime there's a
Yeah.
presidential election, people come out in droves. For sure they do. And I've never worked my own community before. I've always been sent to like a nearby city, a nearby, area, always within the county, but not always what's on my personal ballot. And this time I was like a mile from my house at the polling center. And to see the disconnect between the younger generation that does understand how to use technology and has some concept of media literacy, like media literacy being something that they've at least become aware of in school, versus the older generation that media literacy, who? AI, what's that? Like they don't know what they're being fed. And so they show up with no access to information. They're asking me, well, I don't know. Like, where am I supposed to find out what party they're aligned to? Sir, it's a mayoral race. They don't disclose party because it's a mayoral race. So let me take 20 minutes to explain ranked choice voting. Let me walk you through how you can possibly find some of the answers that you're looking for. But I personally, as a poll worker, I can't tell you who to vote for. I can't tell you who's good, who's bad, any of that. And to watch them try to figure it out, oh boy, that's
wow.
rough. And so endorsements have become such a huge piece of the puzzle. And you do see the impact of those endorsements when there are big presidential elections, for sure. But on these smaller municipal things, you're seeing the lack of access and you're seeing the lack of communication. That is terrifying because it's literally the weight of endorsements showing how much they mean now.
I think it's
Very,
interesting.
And-
Like, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say they didn't when my generation, like Wanda and I are close enough that like I don't remember hearing about what celebrities were.
No.
Yeah.
I think I vaguely knew that John Mayer had gone out and done something, and then he released that like "Waiting on the World to Change" song, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this is a really strong state." Do you remember when that was a strong statement of politics when that song came out? But people in my, and I've never voted, but I came of age alongside peers who did. And again, coming from a very privileged, I grew up in fucking Boulder, Colorado, y'all. We're talking rich white people. It wasn't about the endorsement. It was people voted who were engaged in it, and they tended to get engaged in it through the local level. And that was how they were learning a lot of it, was because they could affect change on the small level. The presidential stuff wasn't such a fast swing back and forth in either direction. And generally, you voted down party lines without a lot of critical thinking outside of it.
Yeah.
We just aren't party line voters anymore. The new generations are not party line voters anymore.
Well, the level of
which
harm
is-
that's happening is so much larger than
Yeah.
it was in that time period, and our ability to be aware of the harms
I will
is
say, like,
significantly higher.
in Canada, endorsing still isn't really a thing. Like, you don't see big Canadian celebrities like specifically using the word endorse. And I think that's also what's like why that's also kind of like it's a big difference. Like it really is a big difference between how elections work here versus the States, I think. Like it's not like celebrities in Canada might come out and say like they support certain candidates or they're voting certain candidates, but the word endorse really isn't used here, as like at least in my experience from what I've seen. It's definitely one of the big differences, I think, when it comes to our elections. Like you don't really like I really don't think I've seen that word in our prime minister elections or our provincial elections at all. Actually, I feel like I think I see more people say don't vote for this person than I see people say do vote for this person in Canada.
I get
Truly, like
that.
during our provincials, like celebrities in Canada were coming out and being saying like, please don't vote for Ford. Like for Ontario, they
And
were
that's
like,
the
please don't
difference.
vote for Ford.
And that is the difference between a two-party system
Yeah.
and a non-two-party system, because in a non-two-party system, you vote for the lesser of the evils a lot of
Yeah.
times. And
Yeah.
it's more important to stop fascists and people who actively cause harm from getting into power
Yeah.
than it is to have your candidate rise to the top. So you're immediately starting to look at ranking candidates and looking
Yeah.
at things dynamically and saying, where are the places where I'm willing to give? What does that look like?
Mhm.
Which is the political system I grew up learning about. So
Yeah.
when I got to America, I shut down. I was like, I
I
don't know
bet.
why anyone would ever vote Republican. Everything is
Yeah.
terrible. Like,
Yeah, and like there
but
was a big thing push this year for both provincial and federal elections where there was this website where basically you'd check your area and you'd see which party is most likely to beat conservatives in your area. And so like that's
Mm.
literally how I voted for both the federal
mhm,
and provincial elections. I went to see
Yep.
who in my area is most likely to beat the conservatives because our priority this year was quite literally conservatives cannot get in. Like we cannot have Polyev. Unfortunately with the provincial, it didn't work out and we still got Ford again, but which is kind of wild to me.
Yep.
Given everything he's done.
Oh, we feel that.
But it's also kind of interesting because there's also like this big problem of a lot of Canadians not knowing what the provinces are in charge of versus what the federal, like the country prime minister is in charge of. It's
Our
actually
president
kind
doesn't
of
know
funny.
what federal is and
No,
what state is.
totally. But
Yeah.
it's really funny because you'll see people like complaining about these things and like you'll be like, right, so Ford did those things, like Trudeau didn't do those.
Mhm.
I have a lot of criticisms of Trudeau, but like Ford did those things, Trudeau didn't do those. And they're
Mhm.
like, we can't have another liberal government because they did this and this, and I'm like, right, but the conservatives did that and that. Like I don't think you're
Yeah,
understanding.
We're definitely getting a dose of that too.
Yeah,
right
it's like
now.
the problems
Yep.
you're talking about were provincial problems, and you're basing the provincial problems for what you're you're voting for like federal,
Yep.
or you're basing your federal problems with what you're voting for provincial. And I'm like, I don't think you understand
Yep.
who's in
Young
charge
Americans. Young Americans are getting a first-hand insider view to that right now because we have a president who doesn't understand states' rights versus federal.
of what. Mm-hmm.
Like the most recent one is that he is trying to pardon a state conviction. You don't have the power to do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff where it's a little bit more in the gray that I can give him, that he is just trying to override states' powers, but like there's a discussion to be had. There's no discussion to be had on this one. But it is, the one thing I will say is it is a good insight for people who don't understand that difference are getting to see it firsthand now. And I think people, my take on it, and feel free to disagree with me, fellow Freedomland livers, that I'm seeing people start to take their state's role much more seriously.
Yes. That's part of what I was seeing at this election, which was weird. It was very strange. I knew people were going to be fired up. We had an interim mayor that had stepped in because our previous mayor had to step down, kind of, a walk of shame type deal. And he was the first openly gay mayor for our little town. And so now he had to actually run for election for the same seat. It was like, are people going to be cool? Also, because of that, we're here in Utah. So back in April, they banned pride flags, all pride flags on any government buildings. And so my lovely, lovely local mayor said, fine. But here's the deal then. Except during Pride Month, right? And they're like, yeah, okay. Cool. So he ran with that and he went, all right. So I am officially declaring that in this township, it is Pride Month from right now in April until the end of June.
That's incredible.
Glorious pettiness.
Yeah.
That's
He like fully did
incredible.
that. So I'm like looking at him going, this is going to be a fun election.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And we have one of those neighborhoods that is what they call the newlyweds and the nearly deads. Like there's not a lot in between. So the older demographic did not enjoy him very
my
much
gosh.
at all. And boy, did they come out in numbers. They came out in numbers, which we have mail-in voting here.
Mm.
So I did not see most of the younger demographic coming in to vote. I only saw the very, very angry vocal minority.
Do the states have early
And-
voting? Like not mail-in, but like early
Yes.
voting? Okay. I was wondering
Yes.
about that because I've never understood
depends on
election
where,
must be
though.
on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
Depends on where. It depends on like
yeah.
different things within the states. Like the states have a ton of control over how
Yeah.
their individual elections go.
Okay.
Here in
It
Utah,
also depends
get
on
it.
your employer.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
the
yes.
only day that they are required to let you go and vote is election day. So for a lot of the lower socioeconomic, hourly, the peons that keep this country afloat, they have no choice. They
Yeah.
have to go. And that's the only time they get protection to do so,
Mhm.
which I still think
It's
is
a big thing.
freaking stupid.
Yeah.
But
Oh, there's
whatever.
so much about it that the closer you get to it, the more that you are like looking it in the face. You're like, wow, we are overcomplicating a very simple thing.
Mm.
We are absolutely overcomplicating an incredibly simple thing. But yeah, so people were coming in and absolutely making fools of themselves. They were coming in and like, I obviously can't say anything that's identifying about people. I am still sworn in.
Mhm.
I will forever be sworn in. But I can say that there were a lot of people that were approaching me and letting me know that they were voting specifically to harm their neighbors.
Wow.
And I never imagined that before. I didn't think that was
Wow.
possible. So it was a whole thing. Oh yes. Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about, Colonel. Like you couldn't walk the dog without seeing this massive Second Amendment
Oh my god.
mural, and now it's a lot of rainbow lighting. I
I love it.
about the
Oh
newer
my
We love to
God.
see it.
You love to see it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
also a rivalry
So-
between two houses with giant Home Depot skeletons, one being hella right ring and the other one being covered in
Yeah.
You know what the solution to that
Pride
is?
one has like different inflatable friends that come out to hang
my
out, and they're all
God.
Hell
very
yeah.
cool and fun. Yeah, this neighborhood is very divisive. There's a lot going
I would
on.
I would be going and trolling your local thrift stores for any little plastic hanging skeletons or anything and like painting them in rainbow colors and just leaving them on the lawn in the still of the night.
I love it. We
That's
definitely
great.
should, as long as we don't, get attacked, because we're also Utah in that way too.
Mm.
Like we call it like a purple dot, but it's a very red shade of purple still.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God, remember that
Speaking of draining
movie?
the
I never.
swamp,
draining the swamp.
Oh yeah, I have to pee so badly.
I have to pee too.
Do it.
Okay.
And I've also been live for about 3.5 hours.
Oh my word.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I should go and get ready for what's gonna be a huge weekend.
Yes.
But I will leave you with this. I think I desperately need to find a cultural competency class in my area because it took me several beats to figure out why a woman named Jennifer Lopez would make a Spanish version of her song.
We love you.
That's my parting gift to you. I love you so. Is it because I stayed up until 1:30 last night, or is it because I really am that ignorant? You know, some call me and some call me.
Let's put some hearts in the chat for Wonder,
Hearts for
please.
Yes,
Wonder.
please.
Oh my
Thanks,
goodness. All them hearts. Oh, that's fantastic.
What?
Yes.
Oh, why is I know why. Because I think that there is too many caps in a row, and
Oh, and it's mad. It's gotta be.
it's my too many caps in the message, maybe.
Maybe.
Alas.
Aw.
I don't
All
know.
right.
We'll find out. But anyway, yes, go and follow Wanda. Have a wonderful day at work. I will chat with you later because we have to figure out a time to do Frankenstein.
We do. I'm not working today. Jimity's parents are coming in. They're flying right now. They're in the sky.
It's gonna be such a good weekend.
Yay!
Okay.
It is.
Well,
I'm
then
so
I won't
excited.
bug you today. I'll bug you later. Go enjoy that time.
Bug me anytime. You know how it be. All right. I love you all so much. This was so much
Love
fun. Let's do it
you.
again.
Yes, and now
Bye.
we have our tech figured out. Yay! Good job,
Yay.
We
team.
have our tech figured
We
out.
have our tech.
All right. Toodles.
Okay, toodles.
But yes, I'm going to take a quick pee. I can keep going until about 4 hours, but then that'll be about the time that I need to stop.
I think
I
that
should
sounds good.
probably get going too. I gotta go pick up.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, for such a feminist, I gotta go pick up my husband's dry cleaning, and I'm not even lying. Like, that's a literal thing I gotta do.
Well,
but
in
I
that
can't promise
case,
that I would.
let's just go ahead and wrap up for today.
Sure.
So I can pee and then not have to come back and do
Do we
do a
want to
goodbye.
like group raid someone?
Ooh.
Let me take a look and see who is on. I'm open to that idea.
Yeah. Let's see who's on. Because it's always funny with Stream Together because they'll get like 4 raids at the same time. Because it's
Oh, is
like...
that how it works? I was wondering.
Yeah, it's actually really
Okay.
funny.
I have a charity stream.
Okay.
Let's do it.
December Dash with Humane World for Animals. Or I have a Wig Wheel of Fortune with Erin for music. Those are my 2 picks.
I'm down with
What are you guys
either.
feeling?
I'm down with either. I'm fine to go to the charity stream.
Okay. They are very high energy. I will warn you guys of this. They are very high energy. But we can go and raid awkward monsters.
Okay. Do you mind just
currently
typing it in the chat so I get the spelling right?
I got you. If you like ranch dressing, boy oh boy, are you going to enjoy this raid.
Oh my god.
They are on to be right back though, so we have a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Say that.
I have
Megabonk? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think I've got it.
I'm just gonna put this in and just
put raid calls and whatever y'all want to put in.
There we go.
Feel free to put whatever chat you're in, put their emotes.
I love it. I'm so glad we
Together of chaos of raid. It is appropriately nonsensical.
Yeah, we love nonsensical.
It fits. Oh man. I love that. I love it.
But yes, it has been lovely streaming with y'all. And now we know that we can do this like super easy, super not a big deal. Well, there we go. I'll throw my sword emote in. So when we're doing chatty stuff, or if anyone wants to hop on and do like a little, it just does not like your all caps, I believe, is because I put on an all caps limiter.
Oh, okay.
Because I have, I think I've told you guys that I was on the lurk of a raid that went very south very quickly because the community responded very badly. Which they had very valid points. So I'm not going to...
what the points were or anything, so I still need to get point for sure.
The first thing was that, so I was on a raid where everyone got zapped because there were too many caps and people had caps blocker on. So it sucks when you have like 10 people come in and they throw in a raid message and then immediately...
You mean?
That happened to me once. That's why now I have a chill raid if I'm like going into like a community where I'm not sure what they have on. So I have a chill raid message and then my regular one, depending. Like if I'm going into Danny's stream, I can do the giant one. If I'm going into like
Yeah.
someone more low key, I'll do the easier one.
But there was also a fairly valid point put in that when raiders were going in, and a lot of times the culture is to do, I don't know why it deleted that one. It didn't like Nightbot's shout out response for some reason.
Nothing.
I don't
it
know.
just nothing is in that one. It's just normal.
I think that one might be link blocking.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Oh, that's
That
fair.
might be
And
the
it's just the
issue.
shared chat
Oh.
thing that does that. Because yeah, I
Yeah,
have the link
so-
blocking thing.
Probably.
But
But we can just
there
tell
is-
everybody. Just follow everybody.
follow everyone, just click on
Follow.
everyone. But I think it's a valid point. A lot of chat raid cultures is like people will put the message multiple times, or they'll then start talking to the streamer they raided in with, versus talking to the chat or the streamer who's streaming. And chat got like very filled up with a bunch of stuff, and then everyone fell off. And then I saw someone be like, okay, are they done with that crap? Can we get back to talking now? And I was like, first of all, that's a very rude response.
Yeah.
But it's also a very valid feeling when a raid comes in and it is, oh, great. And now I'm going on an ad break. Things are going well. And things are very disrupted for that community then not to stick around. It does feel like you showed up, made it all about yourselves for 3 minutes, and now it's really hard for them to pick up and resume the conversation and the flow of things, which is why I, for the time being, while I process my thoughts and feelings about it, because I'm an overthinker, who knew?
You never.
But I think it is a pretty valid reaction. So I've just turned off raid calls while I'm thinking it through. And I think I would rather that people just like, we pick an emote that everyone can use in a message if they're going to put a message in, or something, because it is, I can see in very tight-knit communities or a community that's having a very intense discussion as well.
Yeah, like if it's
that
like
would
a
feel
someone, yeah.
unpleasant.
Yeah. And I've been
And for
thinking
none
about
of them
it
to stick
too.
around,
Yeah.
especially because none of us put the onus on our viewers to stick around after a raid.
Oh,
We're not
yeah,
like, you must
no.
stay in chat.
Yeah.
Right.
So it is hard to meet that balance. Sorry, Trina, you were saying.
No, it is. And I've been thinking about that too, which is why I added the comrade version, because I was like, well, I went into a stream and she was very nice about it, this person, but she just said, yeah, I've just like dealt with a lot of hate raids and stuff. And often those raids had like all caps. So that's why I like shut it down. She was like,
makes
very, very kind about it. Like, so I was like, okay, like good to know. Like, so now I have like 2 different raid messages, and it depends where I'm going. Like I usually now only use the big one if it's like someone I know is like a really chaotic community.
So you're, yeah.
Mhm. But I think the other thing that I have noticed is that a lot of people whose raid messages are still really big and stuff, a lot of us are still stuck in the 2020 mindset who are doing that when people had more online time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they would, like, I used to stick around for raids because
Like,
my
ride
whole
the
world
train
existed
day.
through the goddamn
Yeah.
thing. So I think that the other part of my thinking is that maybe raid messages are just a little bit of an antiquated relic on today's version of Twitch.
Ooh, that's a spicy bit of thinking. I feel like we could do an entire conversation and bring in a bunch of people and like turn that into a panel.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and I guess
our
the other part,
calls.
yes, we can definitely do that, because the other
I'm
part,
writing it down.
do
Like, you
it,
don't
because
know
the
how
other part to
serious I
take
am.
into account is how many of us were watching on PC or laptop in 2020 era versus how many people watch on mobile now. And chat on mobile is such a fucking pain in the ass to keep
Oh,
up
yeah,
with.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
bad, for real.
So sometimes my overthinking pulls up good insights,
Yeah.
but I have to do a lot of navel gazing and verbally process it through 74 times before we actually get anywhere with it. My ad break is ending, so we can set up raids now.
Okay, beautiful.
Perfect.
And Awkward Monsters is perfectly back from their break. Like I
Beautiful.
said, high energy stream that we are going to. If you love Ranch, you will love the raid arrival. Welcome.
That's such a wild thing to say. I can't wait.
Yeah, just we're just gonna leave it at
Feel
that. If
free,
you
Candace, to
love
put-
Ranch,
Put one of your emotes in there.
It is. I think we mostly have crossover followers,
Fair
so
enough.
like I'm
Um,
comfy. I'm comfy.
Cool.
But yeah,
for
are we
everyone
going?
who's joined on all of the channels, thanks for sticking in through
Yeah.
tech problems.
you.
Thanks for sticking in through tough conversations. Thanks for sticking in through fun conversations. I will be back
Congratulations,
streaming.
Katrina, for getting her
Congrats to
followers.
2000.
Oh, thank you.
Huge. Thank you to everybody
Yeah.
who
Oh, I'm
followed
going
and
live
shared and all
tonight,
of that too.
technically again on
There we
Davey's
go.
channel.
Mhm.
Okay,
For some karaoke.
Oh,
perfect.
It's just gonna be.
I'll
a
be
fun
back
chaos
tomorrow.
time.
Gaming
Fantastic.
stream, Trash Goblin playing, and then find me in my Discord on Sunday for Love Actually Die Actually Love Hard.
I might
Candace,
have to
when
skip
will
out
you
on
be
that, which
back?
I'm really sad about.
We're good.
I might be able to
Possibly
come back
this
later, but
weekend. We'll
anyways.
see. I'm still completely
Turn on
in-
notifications for Candace. And we're raiding. We're going.
Okay. Ooh,
We're
I
raiding.
did it. Oops.
Yeah, because
Okay,
mine's
well-
already counting down. That's why I was rushing y'all.
Oh, there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. My
So
bad.
here we are.
It's fine.
Okay, bye.
It's going.
I'll see you guys over
Bye.
there.
See you over there.
Bye bye now. Bye bye. And if you're watching on the VOD, thank you. I'm going to stop my stream now.
Okay, bye.
I'm a little bit uncertain, a little bit messed up, a little bit forgotten when things fall apart, a little bit too needy, often misconstrued. But how is it that this time I'm a little bit like you? 'Cause I wish I could